Hello, Spartans. Welcome back to Silmar. Well, as much as we can be back. Obviously, this is still a virtual environment, but we're going to make the best of it, and we're still going to have some connections. If you don't know who I am, I'm Mr. Smith. I'm going to be your instructor for the course. We have a lot of work to do in a short amount of time, so I'm going to try to get straight to it. But I still think it's important that you know who I am and I know who you are. That personal connection is what's going to help us get through this course together. So, a little bit about myself. If you didn't know, this is my classroom. I am a fourth-year chemistry teacher at Silmar High School. This is my room 65. Uh, I do miss it a lot. It's looking clean. I think it's looking like this during summer. The last time I visited was a few weeks ago. Looked about like this. Not really what it looks like during the school year for the people that have already been in here. I know there's a lot of credit recovery students that have already been in here. Um, so I really do look forward to coming back and seeing all of you guys. But until then, let's just make this work. So what are we gonna do? Well, we've got to do things online. So if you can open up your browser, let's get started. We'll jump in right now. Go to Schoology. To get to Schoology, for people that aren't aware, you have to go to lms.lausd.net. Go to your courses, and you should be able to find your course. You probably access this video through this. Here, let's make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it as I'm recording. That's probably a little easier for you to see. Okay, so I just dropped down and I pulled up the Chemistry A. For this first video, I'm going to do a joint Chemistry A-B lecture because it's the same intro material. I'm just giving you guys a rundown. I'm giving you an onboarding experience to the course so you know what is expected. The syllabus is the same. It's just the content of the Edgenuity courseware will be different, and I will be looking at your different quick writes. But for right now, you can just look at it. The course structure should be similar. If you are enrolled in both classes, if you are both in Chemistry A and Chemistry B, treat them as separate classes. Complete your quick writes for Chemistry A and B, and also complete your courseware for Chemistry A and B. They're not the same thing. We have to treat them separately. So both of the classes have a syllabus. Let's get a quick rundown. We'll pull up the syllabus. In fact, I have it right here, but you can just click the link. It'll pull up the syllabus. I like to pull most of my things out so I have a bigger view personally. So let's go over the syllabus really quickly. This is the Chemistry AB syllabus for summer 2020. My name is Mr. Smith again. What is this? Chemistry in the Earth System. That's the title of the course. It's a 60-hour. That means we got 24 days together, and each of those days is going to be 2.5 hours of course work. So they're expecting that you're going to be working for 2.5 hours each day on this, which is kind of reasonable. The amount of material you're going to have to cover in Edgenuity will be about that. So the summer school course is taken to replace the grade for one of your original 2 semesters of the LAUSD chemistry course. If you let me fix that right there. Oh, that word's already fixed. If you had gotten a D or a fail in one of your prior classes, it might have been with me, it might have been with another teacher. You just got to retake the course, and hopefully we can get you through it this time. Make it a little as painless as possible. What is chemistry? Chemistry involves the study in composition, structure, properties, and behavior of matter. Matter is what we are made of. If you know how chemistry operates, you know everything about the physical world, well, at least a little bit about the physical world, and you can predict things. I think that chemistry is the gateway to understanding the universe. Well, that and physics, but you can't take physics without taking chemistry first, so there you go. And will include substantial mathematical work. There's some math involved, especially through Edgenuity. Chemistry is a college prep course taken in 10th or 11th grade. It fulfills your high school graduation requirement for physical science, and it's expected that you've at least taken Algebra 1 because you're going to need that for some of these math problems. It's based off of NGSS, the Next Generation Science Standards, which means that they just want you to be more critical thinkers instead of just shoveling a bunch of knowledge and facts down your brain. There's no reason for that. We have ways to access that information with Google, but you got to be a critical thinker. You got to be a logical thinker. You got to be rational. So that's what we're trying to make you do, is think rationally and learn some of the scientific principles. It will conform to the NGSS units that the Edgenuity courseware and the state have agreed to, and the district. For Chemistry A, you will have to complete Unit 1, 2, and 3. That's measuring matter and energy, which is combustion, heat and energy in the Earth system, and patterns in the properties of matter, which is atoms, elements, and molecules. If you are taking Chemistry B, you have to finish Units 4, 5, and 6, which are chemical reactions, chemistry and climate change, and the dynamics of chemical reactions in ocean acidification. This is acids and bases, there's a lot of gases, there's just chemical reactions. Oh, that is not correct. It's not. It's broken up by the Edgenuity. Edgenuity. Courseware. Course. Required to access Edgenuity courseware. These materials can only be accessed via our Schoology course. See, I make mistakes. I gotta fix things. If you see mistakes, call them out. I should fix them. So grading, that's the big one that you're probably interested in. How the heck is your grade going to be calculated in this class? Okay, so it's 2 parts, really. That's it. The quick write and Edgenuity. So for people who have taken credit recovery, either with myself or somebody else using Edgenuity, you'll know that there's one difficult part of Edgenuity, and that's staying on pace. It's really hard to do that, especially if you don't have somebody motivating you, and I totally get it because I've procrastinated. I've been a procrastinating student, and you'll wait until the very end, and then you might not be able to finish. So one of the ways that I'm really trying to emphasize you guys getting through this course is by logging in all of your records daily to our quick write. And we'll talk about that quick write in a moment. But that's half of your grade. And then the other half of the class is going to be your Edgenuity courseware grade. And it's going to be a measure of how much of the course you finished by the end of the semester. If you want to look at the specifics, we'll go into the specifics of the quick write very soon. You can look at this stuff. But we're going to dive deep, and I need you guys to jump onto the courseware as soon as possible. So I don't want to dally too much here. But Edgenuity we're going to cover as well, and your Edgenuity grade, it's 50% of this final grade of the summer school course, and it's going to be based off of the total completion of the course. If you finished 80% of the course and you only have an 80% done of that 80%, and it's 80% of 80%, which would be 64%. Well, we can go over some of the math of that a little bit later. In fact, this math is kind of all broken down here. I want you guys to go through this and ask me a question. I'll have you ask me a question. In fact, let's jump on to the next thing. Let's go back. Let's go back to our courses. So that quick write. Let's jump into that quick write, see what this is about. Okay, the Chemistry A Summer 2020 quick write. Now this one will show differently if you are in Chemistry A or Chemistry B. You have to do both. So this is how this is done. Every day you will log on and you will have a date set up for that day. So I'm going to make one right now. I'm the only person who can make these, but I will make a new sheet. Let's make one. I'm doing this the day before we meet. 6/24. And what this is doing is making a copy of the sheet for you guys and protecting it. But let me just talk about while this is running, this script is running, I can give you a little bit of information about how this quick write is going to operate. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you. Let's full screen this. Okay, so let's just move that out of the way. This is our quick write. Uh, right now, this is a template. I don't have any questions for you right now on this template. As soon as 624 is done, I'll ask you the questions there. But what I'm asking you to do every day is log on, and at the very least, I want to know what your Edgenuity completion is at the very beginning of the course. So uh, you should be logging on at 9 a.m. is our scheduled time if you're period 1. If you're period 2, it should be 11:30. Um, now when you log on, it's going, oh, there we go. It's all good to go. We can make our questions here. Let's wait to make those questions. But when you log on, I want you to tell me what your Edgenuity courseware completion is, and we'll talk about that in a moment. First day, the start of it, you should have 0%. You have 0%. And you're going to get 0.5 points on this quick write just for telling me what percentage you at. So if you're at 0%, boom, you already got 0.5 points. It's already tabulating right there. You've already got it. And if it's not me, if it's somebody else, it's going to timestamp you as well. Now I'm going to use that timestamp as proof that you guys have been here and you've been interacting with the class every day. I'm also going to be using that timestamp to reference for attendance. I need you guys to be here at 9 o'clock, and within the first 15 minutes, I need to register the attendance of everyone who's been here. The sheet itself will not close. This sheet will close daily at 4 p.m., and you will not be able to get points any longer for that day. So try to log in before 4. But if you can make it, it would be really helpful if you can make it at 9 a.m. or within the first 15 minutes so I can do attendance. And that way I can pass the message off to counselors and administrators that you are here, that you are participating. If not, they have to hunt you down. So try to get that done ASAP. If you're watching the video at 9 a.m., then go ahead and log on this quick write and put that number in right there. At the end of the day, after you've done your 2.5 hours, you should also log in what your Edgenuity courseware completion is, and it'll timestamp that as well. So I'll know that if you've done 2.5 hours, you started at 9 and then you ended at 11:30, and you've done nothing, you haven't gone up at any percentage, I know something's up. So that way we can kind of stay on top of each other and make sure that everybody gets done. Because nobody wants to have to retake this course. As much as I like seeing everybody's face again, I know you guys get sick of seeing me. So if you've taken this course before, I want you to get through it this time. Okay, so let's ask our questions. For the people that aren't aware, besides that, I will be asking you a series of questions every day just to check in, make some of the material relevant, and also just kind of establish a relationship amongst the whole classroom. So the first question I want to ask is actually one that's just very, very important for getting in contact with each other, is what is your Gmail address? The reason I ask that is that each one of these rows is currently locked to your LA Unified email. But I know some people prefer their Gmail accounts, and I personally prefer using my Gmail account because I know that I'm going to have it forever even if I leave LA Unified, and it's very valuable to me. I think it's important that you guys all have your own Gmails. If you give me that Gmail address, I can put it right in that column and make this row, each of your rows, locked to not only your LAUSD email, but your Gmail, so you can access it there. So I need your Gmail address. And this is a response type question. So if you respond with anything, you'll get a point. You respond with absolutely anything, and you'll get your point. In addition to that, I think it's really important for classroom culture that we know each other's names. My name is Mr. Smith. You can call me Smith. Those are probably the best ones. Smith is probably the best. But I know that there are a lot of names out there that might not be as easy to pronounce, and maybe you have a nickname. So, do you have a nickname you prefer? How do you pronounce the name you prefer? So, let's see if you guys can help me pronounce your name the right way using the phonetics. Let's see if you can break it down into the phonetics, and I'll read these tomorrow and you can tell me if I'm way off and you can correct me. So that's another thing that I want to see. So I've got your Gmail address and your name. These are just a lot of logistics. We're going over logistics the first day before we jump into courseware. But there's also some other things I'd like to know. Maybe something positive. So, what is something positive that has happened to you during the COVID quarantine? Now, this is an essay type question. Essay type questions, let's scroll down. It shows it way down here over the far bottom left. There's a point scale. Because I want you to write as much as possible. It's important to write. It's important to write more. It just actually helps improve your guys' test scores, and I want you to do well, not just in this course, but courses beyond this. So the more you write, the better you will become, the more fluent you will become. If you write just a little bit, 0 to 50 characters, that's any space or symbol or letter or number, you're only going to get 0.8 points. If you write more, from 50 to 100 characters, you can get 0.9 points. And if you are killing it with more than 100 characters, you're going to get full points. So for an essay type question, I want you to write a little bit more. Not just like yes, no, not I played video games. Like that's okay if you did that, fine, but expand a little bit more. Tell me more. I'll tell you guys what I've done. I finished my master's in education at Northridge. That was a 2-year program which culminated in some research that I had done at Silmar on testing. So now I have my master's. I completed my credential clear, which is something you have to do after you're a teacher. You have to spend 2 years getting it clear through the district. Got that done. That was a huge accomplishment. And the biggest accomplishment, if you know me personally, me and my wife, this is my wife. Our website is brianlovesuzette.com. We celebrated the arrival of my son, Jonah West Smith. Here's a picture of Jonah West. Here's a little story about Jonah, why he has the name he does, and a little story about him being born during COVID-19 and all of those interesting challenges. And here's him sleeping. He's a good sleeper, but sometimes you might hear him crying in the background. I just wanted to give you a heads up. That's what the crying noise might be. It's not somebody else crying because they hate ingenuity. It's just, well, maybe my son does. I don't know if he does or not. But that's a little bit about myself. That's something that was positive that happened to me. I'd like to know about something that's positive that happened to you. Anything cool or interesting or fun. Let's try to make this as good of an experience as possible and start it off on some happy notes. So I'd like to give you some time to write about that. We're going to jump into the courseware, but I'm going to leave this one up for you. I'm just going to put it up. Do you have any questions at all? This can be about the structure of the class, about me, about anything science related, or about the material itself. Oh, I should say the Ingenuity courseware material. Okay, so here's what I'm going to be doing. I am going to lock these every day at 4 p.m. So that gives everybody a chance to submit their responses. And I think that should be a sufficient amount of time. For the first week, while you guys are getting adjusted, I hope everybody can get there quickly, but for the first week, I'll leave it open. Uh, it will be open until, and we can check the syllabus actually. Let's go back to that syllabus over here. This was in some of the details. So quick rates for the first week will be open for point completion until 7/1. So after July 1st, they're going to lock on a daily basis. The first 5 days, I'm going to give you some breathing room. Get them done. They're not going to lock. Please sign in for attendance. The attendance will be logged so they can hound you down. But the points, you're good until 7/1. But after 7/1, they will lock the day of. So you got to do it the day of. Okay. So it locks at 4, and then I'm going to read through your responses. And if you have any questions about any of the material, I'll go through the material. If you want me to go through some of the math problems on Unit 3-2, then I'll go through them. If you have questions about anything science related, I'll go through them. We've got an hour of live instruction. I'm here to answer your questions. You have to have the questions. If you have no questions, if nobody has any questions, then I'm going to let you guys just crank through courseware. But I am a resource for you. Please ask questions. So that's the final one right there. I expect that one at the very end for 624. Oh, I didn't even finish it right here. Do you have any questions at all? This can be the structure class about me, about anything science related, or about that. I will answer it in a video response after 4 p.m. for viewing the next day. Let's make that. Ooh, there we go. Okay, so if you respond to that, if you leave a response, you're going to get your points. So that's 5 points for today in your quick write. You're already on your way to getting a good grade. This is 50% of your grade. Just make sure that you do this every day. Okay. So what's the other 50%? That's our Edgenuity. So here's Edgenuity. How do you access Edgenuity? Go to your course. We had our quick write, our Edgenuity courseware. Open up LAUSD Edgenuity. You're going to go in as a student. I'm going to go in as an educator. Oh no, you know how many characters my password is. Sure, yes, we're going to log in another session. Okay, so course, it might look a little bit different for you than it does for me, but I'm going to just look at the course structure. And I can look at the course structure for, let's see, let's look at LAUSD Chemistry in the Earth System A Summer. And it has all of these parts. You've got all of these assignments, these videos, these quizzes, these labs. This is all stuff that you are doing at your own pacing. If you want to get through it fast, get through it fast. If you want to hang back a little bit, that's fine. Just know that historically, if you procrastinate, it's going to be hard. So I'm going to be pushing you to get done and stay on pace. But it's your pace. You're not going to fall behind. Don't stress out about being left behind. You can always ask questions about any of this material in the quick write. But as you go through this in Edgenuity, it's going to be a seamless experience. You're just going to open up the material. It'll give you videos. It'll give you reading excerpts, and it'll give you assignments. So let's go through like maybe the first one in changes of matter. So that's the first part is matter, combustion. Combustion is the reaction of a hydrocarbon with oxygen, and it is a conservation of matter. There is no matter that is lost. There is some energy that is released in bonds and things rearrange, but matter is never created or destroyed. It is just transformed. So let's look at this warm-up. You open this warm-up, and it's a video. And she's going to give me some information about a lesson. We're going to watch the video. We're going to go through that. And then we're going to answer some questions. And if you have stuck around for this video, you even can get through this. You can see the questions and the answers. The ingredients to write show some common baking ingredients: butter, flour, oil, egg, sugar, and milk. Suppose someone wanted to sort these ingredients in 2 groups with at least 2 items in each group. Which of the properties below can be used to sort the ingredients? So you kind of look through and you're like, okay, well, maybe this looks like it's a solid, and this looks like it's a solid, and this looks like it's a liquid and liquid, and maybe this is not necessarily a solid or a liquid, and this is not necessarily solid. Yeah, okay. Okay, so any of those. Edible or inedible? Well, you wouldn't be able to distinguish that. And you go through.
By the end of this lesson, you should be able to differentiate between physical properties and chemical properties of matter. Within physical properties, you should be able to differentiate between extensive and intensive properties of matter and give examples of each. Differentiate between physical changes and chemical changes of matter. And to see if you're understanding your science practice is to identify substances based on these chemical and physical properties.
Okay, so you watch the videos and then you answer some questions. And as you progress through the class, it's going to give you a percentage. You're going to get a score for all of the assignments. If you need me to reset something, just send me a message in Schoology and I can reset assignments. I can reset quizzes, give you additional attempts. But most importantly, just try to stay on pace. So at the very end of this, I'm hoping that you guys will have all of your quick writes completed. I want you to jump into courseware. I want you to spend, well, about 2 hours on courseware. If this is about a 30-minute video, and then you spend 2 hours on courseware, that's a good balance. That'll help us get through the course. And then you're going to go back to your quick write and you're going to tell me, what did you end at? What percentage did you end at? If it was 4%, we're right on pace. If it's not, then we got to go faster in the next few days. But that's where we're at, and I look forward to seeing all of your questions tomorrow, and then I will respond to them. If you have any questions, definitely ask them there, and I'll see you guys then. Have a good one.